13 people living in my home, and 3 of them are screamers. Thank you. I left Deanna with 5 kids. Oh yes, this is true. You know that's true. The kids are on a boat having dinner out in the Grove. They did like a special. Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Come on in and find a seat. Welcome to the last Shabbat of 2022. We welcome you. If you are watching online, wherever you are, welcome. We are happy that you are here with us at Temple Beth Am. Our cantorial soloist, Jessica Bass, is with us, and our guitarist, accompanist, the man with the voice we want to go hear late night, Billy Whitman. And we hope that you join with us in so many of the musical settings we've chosen tonight. It's all for us to be together.
ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
We continue in our Siddur on page 6. The second reading, and I hope you will please pray with me responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. Be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We continue welcoming Shabbat as we join in the candle blessing and Kiddush, page 2 and then page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner lahadlik Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu l'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki banu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
That grape juice is perfect on Shabbat. We continue with our Kabbalat Shabbat with Lachuna Ranana, page 12.
Lechuna ranana la'Adonai Nariya litzor yeshenu. Lechuna ranana la'Adonai Nariya litzor yeshenu. Nekadma fana betoda bismirot nariya lo. Nekadma fana betoda bismirot nariya lo. Lechun ranana la'Adonai nariya litzor yeshenu. Lechun ranana la'Adonai nariya litzor yeshenu. Nekadma fana betoda bismirot nariya lo. Nekadma fana betoda bismirot nariya lo.
Page 17, last 3 lines.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho.
We turn to page 20 and we continue with Lacha Dodi. We'll be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zochor b'dibur echad hishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'lithilah. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mekor habaracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
We rise and face the door to greet the Sabbath bride.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
You may be seated. So on this last Shabbat of the year, I'd like to take a moment and invite you to join in the recollections of the year. Can you think of, or will you think of, something from this past year that brought you joy? Something from Sherry has her hand up. We will be sharing. Go ahead, Sherry. I'll have to repeat it because we can't hear you online. Yes. The birth. The birth of your second grandson, Andrew. And yep, and he had some health challenges and now he's healthy. So we're going to hold, Sherry's going to hold on to that as we start the new year. Aaron, are you raising your hand? And Aaron, you were in Israel for Passover. Joyful. You see where we're going here? Bill? Oh, and you had family, your daughter moved from Chicago to Boca. That's joyful. You got sworn in as an attorney. Super joyful. You got engaged, Mazel Tov. We have a lot of joyful moments. Anybody else want to share a moment of joy? Anybody else? Yes, Frank. For birth of your granddaughter. Took you, I thought your hand would have gone up right away, Frank, about that, Frank and Edith. So we have births, we have engagements, we have new jobs, we have traveling, we have a lot of wonderful things. So we're going to hold on. When you think of that joyful moment, hold on to it because 2023 is coming. And we know the last few years we were all excited about the new year and we had some struggles maybe through the years, but we're going to hold on to those moments of joy. Right. So as we are thinking of joy, we're thinking of praising God and our thanks, and we join together as a community. We turn to page 28, and if you are comfortable to do so, please rise. Baruch Hu. We'll continue in English at the top of page 31. Let's join together. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha havta, Amcha havta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadata, Otanu limadata. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, uvkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvcharem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated. We continue with the chanting of Ve'ahavta, page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'chayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות הידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Each day when we pray the words of the Michamocha, we are praising God for bringing us from slavery to freedom. We're praising God for that redemption, that physical and historical redemption that made us the Jewish people. But also, every time we think of Mi Chamocha, who is like you, O God, we can think of the many personal redemptions that we strive for, the many ways that not only God, but those who are inspired by God help us overcome those things that hold us back and bring us to our own personal freedoms. We are continuing now in our prayer for freedom, page 40.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot oseh ve'eleh, Nora tehilot oseh ve'eleh, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei al yam livnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'amidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai haparei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. We join in one of our favorite songs that we've melded together into a Hashkivenu, One Day and Hashkivenu. It is in our prayer books. Is it on our song sheet?
42 and on our song.
Hebrews on page 42 with the English on your song sheet. Feel free to move around if the music moves you.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the waters stay raging. your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it faze you. No way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
We look at the words at the top of page 47, and it is a wonderful thought as we about to begin a new secular year. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. With these words, if you are comfortable to do so, we rise for the tefillah, beginning on page 46.
Sefatai tiftach, ufi agid tehilatecha, Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi agid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot, U'Mevi Geula Lifnei V'Nechem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav LeHoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umkayem Emunato, Lishanei Afar, Michamocha Bagevurot, Umido Melech, Melech Meimit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehachayot ha'kol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh ha'kol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom nihalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh.
You may be seated. We join together at the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai. You sanctify, you make holy this Sabbath day. We are continuing with the Ritzeh. We ask God to accept our prayers in this beautiful liturgical musical setting composed by Jessica Bass. It's on your song sheet.
Say Adonai Eloheinu Be'amecha Yisrael U'tefilatam be'ahava tikabel be'ahava tikabel Retzei Adonai Eloheinu Be'amecha Yisrael, find favor, Adonai, with your people Israel, and within this favor may peace be held. Retzei Adonai Eloheinu, Be'amecha Yisrael. Son Tamid Avodat Yisrael Amecha Retzei Adonai Eloheinu Be'amecha Yisrael find favor Adonai our God with your people Israel, with your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai hamachzir shchinato l'Tzion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Amen. That was beautiful, Jessica. In a little while ago, I asked us to think about a joyful moment of this past year that you will hold on to as we go ahead. And now it's time for our prayer of thanksgiving. So who has something they want to share that they are thankful for? Who wants to share some of their gratitude? Now, if no one raises your hand, it really looks bad from this. Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. And we didn't put him there, but he always says the right thing. Daniel's grateful for the clergy, and we're grateful to you and to all of you. Bill. Thank you for Jessica and her beautiful voice. That's only two. Thank you. Thankful for friends and family who help support us and encourage us through all of our life's challenges.
I am thankful that we are here tonight in the sanctuary to close out the year as opposed to being stuck in the little Zoom boxes that
Yes.
could have been possible.
Yes, me too. I am thankful that we are here on the
For those
Bima.
online, we miss you and we love you too.
Yeah. We do love you. We would love if you're here. I don't know if the sun has set yet in Colorado where you might be, but if it has, maybe you've joined us for Shabbat. There are so many things that we are thankful for. We are thankful for the soul, our soul, the awareness. So we have one more? Okay. Oh, Genya, thank you. Thank you. Genya says she's grateful for family and good friends. Yes, Michael. Thank you. So, a thanks for peace, and even among our differences, we try to find a way to move forward. So for all these, we say, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha, Ulacha Na'el Hodot. We praise you, Adonai, for your name is goodness, and you are worthy of our prayers of thanksgiving. So Michael segued us from thanksgiving into prayers of peace. And I always love to say that when Jessica was probably in middle school, she would come to services with her parents, and we'd get to every Friday night. And without any notice ahead of time, I would look out into the congregation like I'm doing now, and I would say, Jessica, would you join us for Shalom Rav? And because she's so good-natured, she would come up every Friday that she was there, that we were singing Shalom Rav, or that she led us in Shalom Rav. So our prayer for peace, join Jessica and sing with us, page 60.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Baruch Atah Adonai HaMevarech et Amo Yisrael B'Shalom. Blessed are you, Adonai. You blessed your people Israel with peace. So with this idea that we are creating peace in our lives and in the world, with the ideas that we have so many things to be grateful for, as we hold on to joy and gratitude and peace, we pause for our own silent prayers and meditations. When live streaming became so popular, not only as something that people wanted, but a need, there was always this discussion, what do we do with silence? What do we do online if people are just sitting there? Well, we enjoy that silence. Shabbat shalom again, everybody. I am always excited when we celebrate the beginning of the year. I am the woman who chooses to see the glass as half full, and generally, I wake up happy. So for me, a new year is full of possibilities, and I'm glad that we get to, if I count Tu B'Shvat, 3. Before Rosh Hashanah is the time I work on my spiritual self, but the secular new year gets, well, the rest of the mess. Some of the goals, of course, declutter my home, go to bed by 10:50 p.m., and get at least 6,000 steps. Now, I know we're supposed to get 10,000 steps, but that's impossible for me, so 6,000 sounds realistic. You know, when we go to rabbinic conventions, and I also studied and received an executive certificate in transformational nonprofit leadership, we learn a lot of things about goals and challenges and meeting them. And so tonight I'm going to give a little nod to the idea, the acronym of the SMART goals. And are my goals SMART? Are they specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely? Well, I think they are, pretty much, except for, of course, decluttering the house. It's not specific. It certainly will never be measurable. Might be the reason why I never really feel like I'm fully successful at that task. But there is another reason why New Year's goals or resolutions might be short-lived. Because the goals we set, 6,000, 10,000, 12,000 steps, whatever they are, they might not align with our core values. My core values include faith, fun, family, passion, creativity, and knowledge. One of my children, one of her core values is perfection, not mine. And so without being too judgy of myself, organization and exercise, well, they're not part of my core values. I could still meet those goals, but they are not really a part of what motivates me or what inspires me. This week we return to the inspiring story of Joseph, and we witness one of the most emotional scenes in the Torah. It is Joseph's big reveal. No, he's not redoing Pharaoh's palace. It's the big reveal of his identity. For now, Joseph is second only to Pharaoh in Egypt, and he is busy saving Egypt from famine. And not only Egypt, but all those who live in the area around Egypt. And now, in this week's parashah, he is face to face with his brothers a second time. He knows who they are, but they do not know he is Joseph. And he demanded that they bring his younger brother Benjamin to Egypt from Canaan. And he now created a ruse. He falsely accused Benjamin of theft, of stealing his goblet, the goblet of which he divines the future. He had it placed in his bag when his brothers were leaving, and Benjamin was caught and brought to prison. From the time Joseph was a teen, we knew his core values. He always wanted to be in charge. He was always wanted to be a leader. He always spoke God's will. Whenever he interpreted a dream, he said, "It is not me, but this is what God has told me to say." And we know he dreamt he would rule over his brothers, and that is exactly what he is doing. But now he is testing them. Have they changed? Will they leave their youngest brother behind like they left him, and instead just bring food back to their own families? What are the brothers' core values? Self-preservation, honor, revenge. They threw Joseph into a pit because of jealousy. They lied to their father, letting Yaakov believe Joseph was dead, to protect themselves, their own reputations, to hide the truth. They murdered and destroyed an entire city and took all the spoils for themselves because of the evil crime one man committed against their sister Dinah. And now, Judah is standing before this vice-regent Joseph, who he does not know is his brother, and he pleads his case to have Benjamin released. If we read the Torah, when we read the Torah directly through, it sounds perfect. It sounds like Judah has changed, and he is placing himself instead of his brother. He says, "Now your servant has pledged himself for the boy to my father, saying, 'If I do not bring him back to you, I shall stand guilty before my father forever.'" Judah continues, "Therefore, please let your servant remain as a slave to my lord instead of the boy, and let the boy go back with his brothers. For how can I go back to my father unless the boy is with me? Let me not be witness to the woe that would overtake my father." These are the pleas that Joseph hears from his brother, one of the brothers who left him for dead. And so the rabbis in a midrash change up this very emotional scene. It goes from a monologue of Judah speaking to Joseph to a biting debate between Joseph and Judah. And in this midrash, Joseph replies to Judah, "Well, why didn't you stand in bond for your brother when you sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and grieved your old father when you told him, 'Joseph has been torn by a wild beast,' when he did you no wrong? Regarding your brother who stole my goblet, go tell your father the rope has followed the bucket." The bucket being Joseph thrown down the empty pit, the well, and now Benjamin, the brother from the same mother, from Rachel, followed after him. Judah, now angered, calls for the other brother Naphtali and says, "Go and see how many markets there are in Egypt." And whereupon Naphtali leapt forth. He returned, he told him there are 12. Judah said, "I shall destroy 3 of them. The rest of you, each take 1 market and spare no one." Doesn't seem like there's much change according to the Midrash in Judah. But then his brothers interrupt him and they answer him, "Judah, Egypt is not Shechem. If you destroy Egypt, you will destroy the whole world." And suddenly, and maybe not so suddenly, Judah sees a world beyond himself and beyond his family. And he sees that his goal of returning Benjamin and food is not yet enough. He must broaden this goal, for his brother's words reminded him of how important Egypt is to the survival of all the people in the region, and that Judah needs to care about them as well. This was a new idea to Judah, and he stopped and he paused. This now is the turning point. It's a turning point in the Torah, and it's a turning point in the stories of the Midrash. For now, Joseph reveals his identity to his brothers. He did see some change in them. He was not afraid that they were going to attack him and kill him. And Joseph, too, now could relent and let his own anger dissipate. It is his big reveal. "Ani Yosef, I am Joseph. Is my father well?" The brothers are dumbfounded. Here is this second in command of Egypt, looking like an Egyptian, talking like an Egyptian, and suddenly he goes into their own language and he calls himself Yosef. They cannot respond. Rashi says they believe that, yes, okay, this is a Yosef, but they are in disbelief that this is their Yosef, their brother. So Yosef tries again. "Come closer," he says to them. "Ani Yosef achichem, I am your brother Joseph, whom you sold into Egypt. But don't be distressed," he says, "because it was God who sent me before you to save you." You see, Joseph remained true to his core values. He was leader. He was authority. He spoke the words and will of God. What he set out to do, he accomplished. Yes, he suffered the trauma at the hands of his brothers. Luckily, he eventually now reunited with his father, both physically and emotionally. But as for the brothers, well, let's say they were never best friends. But he does set them up in Goshen. He gives them security. And the very last sentence of this parashah we read, they became wealthy, they were fruitful, they multiplied greatly. Like Joseph, we each experience slowdowns, even detours as we strive to align our goals and live in sync with our values. It isn't always easy to do. For as Jews, so many of our core Jewish values are counterculture to the values of the regular society. But that's that tension. And as the new year begins, these tensions become ever more present. So beginning this new year, we may feel excited, of course, that the challenges may be daunting. Our goals and lists that we set out to accomplish can be overwhelming. But like those SMART goals, the specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely, I offer you a new acronym, EMET, truth. True goals, those goals that resonate with your own truth. So whatever you decide to do, even if organization is your core goal to declutter your home, it fits. Let your goals be emet. Let them be exciting for you. Let them be meaningful. Let them encourage your well-being. And they're not just timely, because our goals that align with our values, with our true self, these are goals and values that are timeless. So as we begin a new year, let Emet go with you. Let it encourage you. Let it excite you. Let it inspire you for 2023. Shabbat Shalom. Happy New Year. Thanks, Jess. We continue with our service with our Mishabarach. Mishabarach, may the one who blessed our ancestors bless all of those whom we love, who need prayers of healing and well-being. Whether it be refuat haguf, a healing of the body, refuat hanefesh, a renewal of the spirit at this time, we ask God's blessing upon them. We ask God to bless all of those healthcare providers caring for our loved ones. We ask God to bless those who are fighting addictions, those who are struggling in abusive relationships. May they know peace and healing at this time. If you are thinking of loved ones and you would like to share their names before our prayer for health and well-being, please raise your hand. Judy? Thank you. Thank you. Paul? Thank you. Bob? Thank you. Joan? Barbara? Thank you. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim, blessed are you, Adonai, and may you bring healing to the sick. Amen.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel veLeah Uyevarech Virapeh et HaCholim
turn to page 282. If you are comfortable to do so, please rise for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו ככם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. We say at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, we remember them. We remember our loved ones, those whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. It is our custom here at Temple Beth Am that when you hear your loved one's name called, you rise at your seat and stay standing through the mourner's Kaddish. On this Erev Shabbat, we send our condolences to the family of Herbert Herb Hirsch. We say Kaddish tonight for Iris Cutler, Joseph Harvest, Ellen Osman. We remember those who have passed during the last month: Charlotte Glovsky Brody, Shirley Berger, Joni Kornman. We're thinking of those who have passed during the last year: Judy Agron, Stephen Barkin, Evelyn Beckerman, Hayusia Perelman Bernstein, Vicki Kuhfeld Brode, Barry Debowski, Rosalie Ferris, Mitchell Mitch Friedman, Dr. Henry Irwin Glick, Rivka Ricky Blattner Goldman, Samuel Greenfetter, Judy Greengrass, Rosa Henigman, Evan Higgins, Dr. Howard Israel, Etta S. Coulter, Jan Kaufman, Lois Kaufman, Marie Knoll, Phyllis Lieberman, Doris Leibowitz, Sid Leibowitz, Alan Mallinger, William Palestrant, Lawrence Larry Parker, Eric Polk, Rita Rubenstein, Susanna Schneiderman, Susan D. Score, Marilyn Solomon, Elaine Stokes, Stanislav Shanietsky, Elizabeth June Williams. We're thinking of those whose yahrzeit occur at this time: Louis Adler, William Altschuler, Howard Apfelbaum, May Appel, Dr. Sidney Simcha Beffeler, Albert Bentolila, Hannah J. Berg, Alan Bernkrant, Everett Blasberg, Bert Bloom, Rose Blooming, Faye Brilliant Braverman, Jacob Abraham Butler, Harriet Citron, Ralph Citron, Sonia Cohen, Barney Copeland, Mark Sander Darlow, Adrian Atkins Darlow, Jerry Davis, Fatima Desai Rodriguez, Joel Lonnie Eisenson, Murray Epstein, Erno F. Fabry, Max Feld, Florence Feld, Sarah Flam, Tekla Foster, Ruth Fruitstone, Larry Gilbert, Lois Carol Goldberg, Barnett Goldner, Herman Gross, Pete Hackett, Esther Hallberg, Murray Hale, Malvin Weiss Harris, Norman Hartstone, Leon Hirsch, Sarah Hockman, Robert S. Hurwitz, Geraldine Kalin, Dorothy Karp, Harry Kenigsberg, Hetty Kovac, Stephen Lamberski, Ronald Levy, Fanny Lieberman, Mark A. Light, Libby Margol, Dr. Alan K. Michelson, Harry Middleberg, Albert Nash, Esther Newhouse, David N. Oppenheim, Marion Polinoff, Jack Rosen, Rose Turner Rosenblatt, Selma Karnitsky-Rudinsky, Morris Saffer, Cy Saracen, William Scherer, Miriam G. Schiff, Isaac Sarur, Selma Shore, Joseph Schulman, Edward I. Silver, Clara Singer, Pauline Spector, Alexander Zander Standiford, Ross Allen Standiford, Bernard Stein, M.D., Renee Steinberg, Sam Suchman, Ethel Sudakow, Janice Sussman, Ellis Weinstein, Morris Wichner, Blair Zimet. If there's any other yahrzeit that we are observing tonight and you would like to share your loved one's name. Yes, Joan. Thank you. Arthur? Thank you. We turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. We rise if you are comfortable to do so. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah b'yalma divrah chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kori v'imru amen. Yehi shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam ulamei omaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudusha berichu La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who sends peace from the high heavens let peace descend on us, on all Israel. And together we say, Amen. You may be seated. I invite, representing the Board of Directors this evening, Judy Cowan, for Temple Shabbat Shalom greetings. I forgot your position, sorry.
Shabbat Shalom. I want to, first of all, thank Rabbi Aklepi for assuaging my guilt about my New Year's resolutions. I always knew that my core values and my truth were closer to enjoying Dairy Queen than going to an exercise class, so I feel much better about that. Billy and Jessica, thank you so much for your music, your voices on this last Shabbat of the year, for adding so much to it. Thank you. So, January is coming up, and we have something almost every week. You can find all of the activities in your bulletin, but some of the things that I want to emphasize for you today are that Sisterhood's Book Club is via Zoom on January 5th. It is Charmaine Wilkerson's debut novel called Black Cake, and it is being led by Pamela Lear. Also, this month, on January 19th, the Sokol Speaker Series is with Dr. Judd Newborn, and he is going to speak about The White Rose, which is a story of Sophie and her brother Hans, who were leaders in the Hitler Youth Leaders, and they became heroes of the resistance, so that should be very interesting. All of these things you need to go online and register for, and when you do that, you will see our new website. And congratulations to everyone in our marketing team and everyone who worked on the website. It is a work in progress, so if you see mistakes on it, they are being fixed, but please go and look. Also, when the January commentator comes to your house next week, please take special note of the projects for Mitzvah Day. Many of them are limited to number of people, and they all require registration, and I hope that you participate. Shabbat Shalom. Happy and healthy New Year to all of you.
And tomorrow, Torah study is on Zoom. It's okay. Torah study is on Zoom as well as Minyan. It's Zoom and live stream. So you don't have to sit there and be in the box. You can just live stream it, or you can join us in Zoom. Or Zoom it from your box, right. So we are closing with a wonderful song. It's written for our Jewish New Year, and it works for the secular New Year as well. It's on your song sheet, A New Year. Why does everybody stand up if you are comfortable to stand, and we can sing it together.
May this be a year of love and kindness. May strangers come to be friends. May truth and compassion always guide us. Amen. May this be a year of hope and healing for all of those in need. May all of our deeds be a blessing. Amen. A new year, a good year, a chance to start all over. A new year, a sweet year, a chance to bring us closer. May this be a year of selfless giving. May this be a year of peace. May we forgive and be forgiven. Amen. A new year, a good year, a chance to start all over. A new year, a sweet year, a chance to bring us closer, closer to the ones we love, a world that we can be proud of, long as there are stars above. There comes a new year. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Have a
Shabbat
safe,
Shalom.
happy, and healthy New Year.